Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Truth, where today we're going to be talking about the Seattle Seahawks. Just kind of getting into it, Seahawks can go pick for pick in the draft right now. So they technically don't need to continue with free agency. But if they want to, that's also possible. They do have a nice amount of cap. With the first pick, I know it says offensive tackle, but Troy Fatanu, I don't know how you say his last name, to be honest. It was one way for a while, and then apparently it's the other way. I know it says offensive tackle. He's actually going to play guard. He's going to transition to a guard for me. And so that way it takes care of one of their guards. That is something that they really do need going into this draft. They still need depth and starters at that position. Junior Colson, linebacker out of Michigan. That was another guy kind of put in the inside to help with that starting need. And then with the third pick, I picked Dominic Pooney, guard out of Kansas. He's 6'5", 313. Fatanu 6'3". These are going to be some big guards, guys. These are big guys who are going to be in the interior. They're going to really help protect the quarterback and help stir the run too. Dominic Pooney, he's going to be another guard for you. And he's going to fill out that starting need. And then at pick 118, I'd pick Jalen Ford, 6'2", 240. He's going to be that other interior paired along with Junior Colson right now. It is a little sketchy to have two rookie linebackers. It is a little sketchy just because, hey, they're young, especially at the linebacking position. You need to know a lot of information. So it is a little nerve-wracking, but it's not impossible. We have seen guys who will just hit it in year one. Another player, Zach Zinter, offensive guard of Michigan, and that's going to round out the guard. That's it for the guard. But Zinter, 6'6", 309. He's going to provide some nice depth for you. And then I know it says edge, but it's actually going to be their outside linebacker. This is going to provide depth at outside linebacker. Zion Tuapolo-Tufiti. Look, his skill set and his abilities are really pop. He has a lot of potential, but he's just inconsistent with his production throughout his career. That's really the big thing, is inconsistency. But super athletic. He's a bit shorter, but super athletic. He's going to be a guy you can rush off the edge. And then with the last pick, I chose Carter Bradley, quarterback out of South Alabama. This is just really to kind of, because they do need a backup quarterback. This is just to knock that part out. Now getting into talking about them. So last year they went 9-8. This year they also went 9-8. Some things that did change. They got a new head coach. So that was really interesting to see. Thought they were going to kind of run it back with their situation, but they didn't. They get it. You need to make changes. Just didn't expect that big of a change. They also have $38,686,860 million in cap. $1,000 in cap. They have signed some guys. They've made a lot of moves. Recently, George Fant, Rashawn Jenkins, extended Darryl Taylor, Michael Jackson, got a year on a tender. John Retangan on a tender. They've done a lot, which is kind of crazy. They've done a lot yesterday. They did a lot yesterday. But kind of getting into some things, I'm going to scroll down to Seattle 2024. There are still some key things I do want to talk about that didn't pop up. Noah Fant back on the team. That's an interesting one. Just because, what was I thinking? Sorry. Noah Fant, that's an interesting one just because you do re-sign him for 2 years. He's only 26, which was surprising. I thought he was going to get maybe a 3-4 year deal. Or actually, sorry. Yeah, no, that's right. I thought he was going to get like a 3 or 4 year deal. Didn't. A little bit shocking. Maybe they're kind of hesitant with Noah. And Another guy who's kind of like, hey, you might want to extend in the future. Maybe this is a guy you might extend this offseason, so this could be something to expect. Julian Love, free safety for you. That's someone who you can kind of look at and go, well, that's someone who, because I should just, teams sometimes what they like to do is extend guys or the season prior, so that way they don't have to worry about it when they hit free agency. This could be a guy. Julian Love could be a player for you. I just want to bring that up. And then if I go to free agents, here we go. This is something I want to try out now that we have some free agents going off the board and stuff. Tracker. If we go to all positions, some free agents, guards, updates. Do need guards. Some guys to look at. Miami, Robert Hurt going to Carolina, Michael Anu to New England, staying in New England, Damian Lewis to Carolina, Jonah Jackson to the Rams, John Wayne to the Giants. Some guys just moving around. Some guys to watch out for who they could get. Some guys I wouldn't be surprised by, which would be Lincoln Tomlinson, Andres Pete, or Cody Whitehair. Those three guys, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually went out and tried to pick those guys up in free agency. I don't know how much each of them would cost, though. It's kind of up in the air. But that is something. It's kind of with these guys. It's kind of hard to project just because they are older, and they haven't it's not necessarily out there. I mean, Lincoln Tomlinson or Andres Pete, who can you kind of saw. You kind of saw play left tackle, which was really interesting. That might be I'm trying to think. That might be a reason you kind of maybe pay him more because he can play guard as well. It's something really interesting to see. But the contract for him, I could see 8, maybe 10, if you really do resign a guard. It's tough. It's tough to think because Connor Williams is younger, and he's projected an annual of 13.5. It is kind of hard to project because I don't think. If I go back, I don't think these guys are going to get 13.5. It's just look, they're in their 30s at this point. They're on their last contract. They're probably on their last contract. So that's kind of he might be able to get a cheap deal. I could see Lincoln 3 years, 6 to 8. I wouldn't be surprised if that would happen. I think I will do that. Just 3 years, $8 million. I could also be totally off with that. But since we really don't have an idea, it's kind of hard to project. $30,000 or $30 million left. You're not gonna guard. It's just hard to project because I know I have seen some that say Andres Pete $4 million, and it's just maybe I don't know, man. It's a possibility. I'm actually gonna go to linebacker and check out the inside linebackers real quickly. Some key guys that are left: Eric Kendricks, Levante David, Willie Gay, Anthony Walker Jr., Bobby Wagner, Patrick Queen, Devin White is still on the board. Actually, I think he's in talks with Tampa right now, if I'm not wrong. But Devin Bush as well, Denzel Perryman, there's some key guys that you could snag at the linebacking core. Um, Shaquille Leonard. There are some guys you can bring as depth. There's not too many starters anymore. I do think that the big three, Devin White, Devin Bush, and Denzel Perryman, those are kind of the big ones. Oops. Sorry, guys. I was just trying to check something. I spelled something wrong. If I can get this to work. Yeah, nothing. Nothing that I see here. So I mean, it's possible you could go out and re-sign Devin White. That's I think that I will go for that because that brings, instead of you kind of going out there and you kind of going out there and kind of picking up two rookies, you bring a guy with a lot of experience. Devin White, about 10.7, which isn't crazy. And that will bring you to 19, 9, 8, 6, 8. Check the math on that. And if I run the numbers right, you'll still have plenty of cap. Oh, not what I wanted to put in. 686, 860 minus 10. Yeah. So if you do, for his average salary, if you are able to sign Devin White, you'll have a tad bit under $20 million. Officially $19,986,860, which is still a lot for cap. But that takes care of a starting linebacker for you. Some kind of things as I wrap this up to look at is nope, not center. Another guard, and being Andres Pete. Worst comes to shove, you pay another $8 million. And you have 11,986 $860 left in cap. I mean, worst comes to shove, boom, you fill out both guard spots, and that takes care. That's a huge lift off of your shoulders. I mean, that's big. And then you still have enough cap to go out there and kind of spend. I'd say roughly you have about about $9 million left before you have to sign your free agents. If we kind of take a peek at Devin Bush, and you could also go Denzel Perryman either. He was on a 1-year cheap deal with Seattle, so I mean, this is a guy who could come back. Another cheap deal. I don't want to underestimate this guy and say he's gonna not do that, but I mean, he did get a $3.5 million. I'll give him 4, just for like safekeeping. Minus 4 million. So it brings your total down to $7,986,860 left. You could I mean, realistically, you need $3-4 million. If you want to, could take a peek at some of the other free agents. Don't know if you're going to get a decent quarterback for that much. Quarterbacks are kind of going right now for $8 million pop, which is really high for them. But we could take a look at, just kind of show you some of the rest of the available ones. Of course, outside linebacker would be interesting. And these aren't like my predictions for how much they'll go. It's just kind of, we'll see. Randy Gregory's a guy. Jerome Baker, Tyus Bowers, Bud Dupree, Kayvon Chason. If I can kind of take a peek at his market value, $3 million. That's really interesting. I think I will do that. I think I will give Chason for $3 million because that's right there and done. This is per Sports Track what they think. And this could be totally wrong. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's kind of what they think. So they have about $5 million left in cap. But we're actually going to start with the draft because now things get really interesting because so many pieces have been signed. And I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to be able to re-sign those guys for this much or if it's going to cost more or less. We'll see. But kind of entering the draft. Enter draft. We've addressed a lot, so things get really interesting. JJ McCarthy could be a guy that goes. Another thing to look at is Troy. Troy Fatanu has gone off the board. I think I will go. In this case, I would go JJ McCarthy to be your backup and your future quarterback. Now, if free agency does kind of play out like this wouldn't be surprising. Usually when new head coaches, new GMs come into the building, they want their guy. So this would not be surprising. But I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying they do need a backup quarterback eventually. So I could see this happening. And then just going down to their next pick, I think it's kind of obvious where I'm going. I'm going guard, and I'm picking up Dominic Pooney, who's still there. And that's kind of how we're going to end off the draft. Let me know what y'all think about the free agency. Let me know what y'all think about the draft. It's kind of some things here. Let me know what, if they kind of do fill up a lot, what are some kind of positions that Seahawks fans or Seahawks in general need to kind of make to really pump up this roster? Let me know. Other than that, thank you all for watching, and I will talk to y'all next time.